Who?
Looking. They're gonna try to find out who he is producing the ball.
That's all.
We called OSBI. They have agents at the scene here in their crime lab. And since some of the relation has not been notified, we're not releasing any names at the present time.
By my election, and we're staying conservative, Bible-centered, with an emphasis on evangelism and missions, and I think the convention has spoken very loudly that ought to be our emphasis, and that's the direction that we are going.
I like, to be scared. I think everybody likes to be scared.
We saw Friday the 13th. It was pretty good. So we hope this one's pretty scary, too.
This is Friday the 13th. We want to be scared.
We read the book, and it was fantastic, so we thought it'd be great, especially with Jack Nicholson. He looks very evil.
What do you think it is about horror movies that draws the crowd? No, violence, blood, gore, all the good things that we're used to.
I'm coming! I'm coming down!
Okay.
The misunderstanding arose that closure of the cancer center would mean that there was not research, other kinds of cancer research going on in the state available to the patients of the state, and that's not accurate because we've had a cooperative research group program here at the Oklahoma Medical Research Foundation since 1972, and that program is continuing and provides treatment to many patients throughout the state.
You all right?
Just fine. That's perfect.
You guys are so good at this, I just can't believe it.
Jurors are expected to leave the courtroom this afternoon to begin deliberating the fate of Rita Nauni. Nauni is facing 2 charges, a first-degree murder charge in the death of airport police officer Garland Garrison and shooting with intent to kill of Officer Terry Wells. But this morning, Judge Joe Cannon gave the jurors 2 lesser charges to choose from, first-degree manslaughter and assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Or Nauni could be found not guilty by reason of insanity. That's the verdict the defense has tried to prove. The jury will start deliberations as soon as closing arguments are finished. That's expected this afternoon. From the county courthouse, Susie Webb, News Center 4.
Pull it on up, man. Go ahead. How you doing? All right.
I believe we're getting into debate already on it, Mr. Speaker.
Well, they just shut both of them off anyway. So, Representative Alexander for a question.
2 questions.
This, and we cannot explain it. They cannot explain it, and we can't expect them to.
And it's a very worthwhile program.
I agree. Many of them are very worthwhile.
I declare the House of Representatives of the second session of the 37th Legislature to have adjourned sine die.
I could, Representative Stewart, but I believe I'd rather let Representative Shepard explain it.
Representative Shepard and
I would urge that next year that the House take a position that we terminate this foolishness of literally hundreds of projects ranging from $250 up to $25,000, and the bigger the project is directly correlated to those who have the greatest influence over the bill.
I didn't come up here and dream up the appropriation for the Azalea Festival appropriation, and neither did Representative Monks. And you didn't in your districts. It was inherited, and it's gone on through the years. And it's not anything that you need to apologize for your people about.
Do you have any evidence that would lead you to believe one thing or another, whether it was an abduction or not?
Directly or indirectly right now, no. All we have right now in actuality is a missing persons case. We have no evidence to indicate foul play at this point. Of course, that possibility has to be considered.
Okay.
So there are problems amid progress in the state's efforts to meet the medical needs of its inmates. The judge will have to decide whether enough progress has been made by this point. This afternoon, the state made its strongest effort to show the judge is trying to comply with his court orders. Called to the stand were Corrections Director Larry Meacham and Prison Warden Al Murphy. will have their story at 10 o'clock. In McAllister, Bruce Creeksies, News Center 4.
Well, they've been waiting for 4 hours, and we just came up here about 5:30.
Now, be honest with me. Is it really worth it standing in this line 3 or 4 hours to see an hour-and-a-half movie?
Oh, yeah. They think it is, and I don't.
It's worth it.
Right through here, both doors. Through here. Okay.
Was the movie worth it?
Real good, great.
Did you get everything you expected?
Oh yes, very much.
I didn't like it. Kids liked it.
It ended too soon. It was good.
It's good.
That's a good movie, and I guarantee you on that. It was great. Wicked.
Well, I wanted to have a job that I could enjoy doing as well as make a decent living at. And it's an outlet for the imagination and any talent, creative talent that someone might have.
Yeah, we got this part.
Now that we've kind of gotten into the airplane industry to a certain degree, I have personally seen 2 airplanes fly right over me that I had striped. It gave me quite a thrill to see an airplane fly right over me that I had personally striped.
After pulling those capital improvement items in the fire section, but
Council wishes to set us another date.
to make your notice. Oh, we're adjourned now.
bricks and mortar. The court is, from everything that I got, is satisfied that if you build a prison, then therefore you have a constitutional prison. What we tried to show him was, regardless of the bricks and mortar, you've still got to take care of the human and constitutional needs of the people that are housed in those institutions. Orders and decide what's the best.
We're going to sell choice on them, and you can buy one or as many of them as you want. I got 2.5 and $5. What 10 now? 15, 15 now, 15 now, 15, 10, 15. What 50 now? What was you on? 55. 15, 55. 55. 50 you can $5. What 50? Yeah, $60. 30, 30 on, 30 now, 30, 30 on, 30, 5, 5, the buy, get about 30, 1, 1, 5, 40, 40, get 40. Stand in there.
That might have rate, but ocean dry. And then
yes, it is. It's kind of sad because seeing all the furniture and all the antiques, and they have to go.
I want to get $5, not 7.5. At 5.5, what about 7.5? Box full. Say, we got a box of medals and all kinds of things there. You're right. Just tell me something. Just tell me something. Can everybody see what we have? Back over the other way. Yeah.
Well, now the catchers have gone down to the net.
Now you have the one guy who's over that is the catcher, as you say. Look at there! Look at that! He caught it in the net. Now he was carrying a it looks like a butterfly net. You net a couple of times.
As a matter of fact, one of the cyclists ran over the referee.
Yeah.
Would you look at that? That is outstanding. He's way up there. Truly the greatest show on earth. Would you look at that?
Big elephant, a medium-sized elephant.
Look at that lady out there.
The fantastic outfits that these people have. What is he going to do, Bill?
I don't know what he's going to do. I'm just going to describe what he's going to do. Now, the girl with the safety belt stands on one end of the teeter-totter, and the elephant on the platform who is opposite, the elephant with the men, will jump on the teeter-totter. There he goes. Up the girl jumps and lands on top of the two men who are already standing, one on top of the other's shoulders.
People slow down when they feel coerced. So when you have management that is pushing people into growth and change, you are getting a counter effect that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if I do it with repetitive involvement, what happens then is just shut up and know better. So when you feel pushed, what you must learn to do is to be able to throw people's systems. But whenever I envision an incompletion, whenever I perceive things... Most people have today a productivity problem. They're looking at America as being down in productivity. And they look to the answers being outside of the human problem. In other words, they look at, well, we need better computers, we need more of this or that. When really what we need to do is to learn to break the mental barriers that people have. There's a lot of things we do or think about that keep us from being productive. And so companies, industry, business, they hire us to help them break the mental barrier.
Now, the problem becomes when you go out in the morning and relax a little bit and do a little exercising and come in and eat breakfast on the, that's the kind of car I'm going to get in when I go to work. And when that's why it's important for you then to be a great artist, because you're going to have to paint pictures for yourself. And I can't tell you from subconscious where you can free flow. Song. You can't think of the words or try to be information is no value to me. And just for me, 5 years from now, I've got some thoughts in that area.
The child knows.
Come here.
The situation is touchy, but not impossible. The Department of the Interior plans to allow some oil companies to begin drilling in the Arctic within the next 5 years, if they can get around environmental and political restrictions. But even if the government gives the go-ahead, the technology needed to get oil from under the ice may be years in the making. Sue Lauer, News Center 4.
Well, an awful lot of mosquito control could be, mosquitoes could be eradicated by people emptying containers that would hold water for a few days long enough for mosquitoes to breed. Drains, high weeds, buckets, old tires, anything of this nature that can hold water for 4 or 5 days before it's evaporated is a potential breeding site.
Would you say then that it's a precautionary measure, or why is it being done?
Truly, just a precautionary measure. It did not quite meet the standards, the criteria. I think it was 1 point over the scale.
The grocers themselves are being notified as of today of the codes and are supposed to pull them off the shelves. Now, there shouldn't be too much in this area because the majority of it was over in the Missouri area. But there was some found here, and there is some as far as Albuquerque that I know of.
Okay.
You go through classes just stoned out of your mind, and you wouldn't worry about getting caught one bit. Sometimes they go down to the park, just meeting places after school, or they ditch school.
Hey!
Hey, what's going on, man? How's it going? Alright.
Come on up and get high.
Been looking for some.
What kind of dope is it? Acapulco Gold.
Alright, man. Get off on that. Shit.
Yeah, smoke it.
Alright.
JJ.
Yeah.
It's a nice doggy. Look at Jay. He's helping put...
I had a fever and chills, and I felt very dizzy after fixing dinner one night, and I went in to lay down, and I couldn't eat. I wasn't the least bit hungry. Next day, I was real feverish, and I couldn't get out of bed. It was achy all over. I had a very bad headache. It made me so dizzy that I would fall over if I stood up. But the high fever was also bad because I couldn't seem to keep warm. I was either burning up or freezing all the time. Okay. Now, even with a dishwasher, there's certain... I don't want anybody I don't know. I don't want them ever to have to go through an experience like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one of the most...
When you're done, just hang it back up and walk by.
But then after I'd been gone a while, I think they began to miss me.
Didn't that make it
Scary. When you...
this cold that, that made you think that you were on the verge of maybe getting sicker?
This, I would think. If a woman is in the first 5 days of her menstrual cycle and feels the least bit bad, go to the doctor. I mean, don't feel like a hypochondriac, or anything like that. But go to the doctor, because the doctor said that's one of the most serious things about this illness is that women don't get in fast enough and don't get treatment fast enough, and there have been several deaths, and that's been the cause. They haven't been treated soon enough.
The need that God allows to happen in my life is because in my walk, in my relationship, in my daily existence with the Lord, there is something that God is desiring to do in my life, or He would never let that need arise at all, period.
Historical incident that definitely did take written down all the so what, big deal. And then we shall get after what?
I think the biggest change that I've seen in Raymond has been in the area of self-concept and self-esteem and the way he feels about himself towards other people. It's made a big difference in his character that we never, dreamed would happen when we were thinking about having the surgery.
I'll make you do the cooking, Raymond. One time a week. I'm complaining. I'm not complaining.
In the beginning, it was like everyone else. I was afraid that it would be a mistake to have that surgery simply because I enjoyed being there. But after the surgery, I never regret the decision. I never knew what I was missing.
You put your sticks on cold charcoal.
No, is that okay?
It's enough.
Okay.
I told him I got a necklace, not because I wanted it to right. Take a big old terry towel and wet it and put it over me at night until it dry off, and then I wet it again and put it back over me. That's the way. They said it give you pneumonia, but I don't know whether I want to die of the heat or pneumonia.
That I can't say exactly, but Mr. Coates will be one of them. The police in general.
We've never heard figures on how many members there are. We've never heard names.
I was here previously. I made it very... I believe once we have demonstrated unequivocally in this area that people cannot make those sorts of statements, that they do not have the power to prevent Klansmen from being police officers or firemen or anything else that they want to be. I believe then we can get on about our business of organizing the Klan and fighting for free enterprise, which is what we're after in the beginning.
I think that it's being used as a means of birth control, which is absolutely ridiculous to pay for someone else's birth control with our taxpayers' dollars.